Welcome to Part 3 of Juke Joints in Jesus, the Black Southern Church.
And everybody started going to church because every section had their own churches. They got Avery, First African Baptist, Nazareth, St. Joseph, Orange Grove, Fish, Nazareth. Most area they had Amity, Scottsville. Now there's most of the churches. There's hardly no clubs anymore.
Predecessors of the Black Church existed before the buildings themselves were erected. By that we mean that the enslaved practiced their spiritual traditions in slave quarters, in the woods, and even in the fields.
Before the church, we have some what they call prayer house. We have about 3 of them still standing.
Eventually, those who converted to Christianity, as one writer noted, adapted Christianity more than adopted it. Regardless of the differences in doctrines, there were some similarities when it came to practicing those vast faith traditions. The ancestors molded religion to fit their needs and encompassed West Africanisms within it. Movement, rhythm, and music are all a part of the cultural and spiritual traditions that transcended the transatlantic movement of the enslaved Africans. Mary Arnold Twining, retired professor of English at Clark Atlanta University, wrote, "In African societies throughout the world, these expressive modes are important features of folk life and are found in both the secular and religious realms." She further noted, in the South Carolina and Georgia Sea Islands, dance and rhythmic movement are part of the daily life of the people. I would argue that this holds true throughout the Gullah Geechee corridor, and too are remnants of Africanisms that have survived enslavement and continuous oppression. Indeed, when we think about spirituals, ring shouts, shouting, and praise dance, we know that our rhythmic adaptations could hardly have been foreseen by Christian and non-Christian slaveholders. Twining wrote, "The importance of movement is found in the religious sphere and reflected in church services that employ a symphonic melding of speech, song, body percussion, and dance, as well as the sermons. It is no wonder that work songs, harmonica playing, banjo picking, the blues, and the juke evolved. They had very little choice to do otherwise."
In the 1960s, the church is playing a much more overtly militant and political role in terms of trying to organize people to defeat Jim Crow, end racism, and also to promote economic equality.
The tradition of Black religious leaders shepherding the freedom struggle reached its pinnacle, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. King fused religion, nonviolent resistance, and the prophetic tradition to challenge Jim Crow, while invoking the musical legacy of the spirituals that enslaved African Americans had created.
As far as, saying how to, the music in the church, it's almost like a sandwich, man. You got to have 2 pieces of bread to have sandwich, man, so, but it's like the singing and the church, it's just like it go together, it's just, every church, I've been in all kind of churches, man, and it's always singing there, so I think it's just a part of it. See, I love this part of the song right here. Every time I sing these words right here, I have to steal away in my secret closet, yes I do. Fellas, will you help me right now? Good God Almighty, I won't ever. How it grew is just kind of like a tree, man, come from the same root, religious music, gospel music, soulful music, the different titles, but still it's like how it, it's like, to me, I look at it like a tree, the roots is where it all came from.
But now I'm a man, I passed 21, I would believe me, baby, I have lots of fun. I'm a man, I spell him a child in that relevant name.
yes, how it rained. I said it rained, children. Rain, oh yes. Didn't it? Yes, didn't it? You know it did or didn't it? Oh my Lord, how it rained. You know it rained 40 days, rained 40 nights. Now make my garment fit me right. When I get to heaven, gonna put on my...
As areas of cultural anthropological study, it has been less than 100 years that we have attempted to examine these seemingly contradictory and paradoxical aspects of Black culture, the Black church, particularly the tiny rural Black church, and the Juke joint, never mind studying them together. But, as historian Henry Louis Gates Jr. wrote, there is a long and controversial tradition of Saturday night sneaking in the church on Sunday morning.
Like the bird said, seeing people.
Seeing people, and you know, the elders and the deacons and whoever, they be hiding in the dark.
Right.
Or if they come down there, they can't be on the end down there.
Right.
They don't want to be seen.
Growing up, you kept hearing the ushers be up front giving out communion. Oh, I'm not taking communion from him because he's doing such a thing, and that kind of stuff. So, and I think historically we've kind of had that warped way of thinking that whoever is in the pulpit or whoever is administering God's messages or activities, it's got to be somebody who is perfect. So it's that kind of thing kind of surprised me.
I think that in an establishment like that, that's for the people who just want to feel liberated, who just want to enjoy themselves. Right. I think a lot of the music at the time when Daddy was coming up, some music was considered devil's music still. We were in the Bible Belt. Right. A lot of music that was, just music, people expressing themselves with their arts and their crafts, but they choose different sounds, different words, and it didn't say Jesus or God, then it was devil's music. But at the end of the day, everybody is just somebody who wants to have a good time. And if you enjoy what you enjoy, you know how to make sure you can go back and do it again.
They would work from Monday, 12 o'clock on Saturday. After 12 o'clock, I didn't know why to do no work. God play baseball, the ladies cook dinner for Sunday. Because Sunday was a big day. You didn't do nothing. Even if somebody got some clothes on the line, and the neighbors say they take it off. You didn't do nothing on Sundays. But go to church. Praise house is 3 nights a week: Sunday night, Tuesday night, and Thursday night. Like I said, some of the same people go to Juke, go to praise house, But you have respect for this.
When Sunday morning rolled around, and you could be sick, but other than you could be dying. But if you weren't dead yet,
you were going to church.
You had to go to church. There was no excuse.
Right. I think in a lot of households around here, you would hear them say that, okay, if you were out last night, Saturday night, then you going to church on Sunday.
Exactly.
You're not going to sacrifice, the Saturday night for the Sunday. If you're going to do one, the Saturday night, you definitely got to do that Sunday.
And they sold the beer, and they sold, they bootlegged the liquor, and and there was always, you couldn't have it without a jukebox.
Right.
But Sunday morning, you had to roll.
You go to Juke on the weekend, but church, you didn't have church on the week, but you had a praise house as you have service. Right. And if anything happened in the community, they try to handle all the community business in the praise house.
It evolved, let me tell you. At first it started off with church people using this site as a place where after church on Sunday they would come out and they had they'd had like roasted peanuts and ice cream and of course the devil will have us run. He turn a dance into something very provocative.
But they were coming early though.
I know.
The church people coming
I'm just saying. I'm only just saying.
The Black church has had to be everything to Black people because American society was unwilling to do so. Today, we don't need the church to do the same things for us, but do I think the church is still a relevant institution? Absolutely. It is the place that you can come and rebuild your spirit after you deal with the spiritual assault on Black life that many African Americans experience because of enduring histories of racism and discrimination.
Thank you for watching Part 3 of Juke Joints in Jesus, the Black Southern Church. Watch Part 4, The Juke Joint.